Hat, sunglasses, Pepsi, notes, sources, thick skin. Check. You already know. Let's go. Welcome to Golden Blue today, everybody. This is a college football channel. So if you like college football, hit the like and subscribe button. It's that simple. Also, send gear to represent your team and be a part of my background forever. All you have to do is send it to P.O. Box 360, Liberty, South Carolina 29657. And don't forget to check out our Patreon page. We have a lot of great perks over there. The perk that people seem to enjoy the most, of course, is the score prediction contest where we award $20 every single week to whoever gets closest to the actual score of the game that I pick. We also did a championship week. I will award $25 to that winner. And right now is the best time to join Patreon because we are going to do the bowl prediction contest. First place prize will win $50. Second place prize is an autographed Golden Blue Dude flat bill hat. And the third place prize is a shout out. And the more Patreons we get, the higher we can bump up the prize. So if we get up to $300 with the Patreon pledges, we will bump up the prize to $75. If we get up to $400 with the Patreon pledges, we'll bump the prize up to $100, and so on and so forth. So there's even an incentive for current Patreon members to encourage other people to join Patreon. That way the prize goes even higher. I'll leave the link to the Patreon page in the description of this video. I tell you what, the news is flowing out of Boulder, Colorado after they decided to hire Deion Sanders, and Deion Sanders decided to take the job. That blew me away. The teams that I thought most likely were going to land Deion Sanders were either Georgia Tech, Auburn, maybe Ole Miss if they lost Lane Kiffin, Florida State if Mike Norvell didn't work out, and maybe Texas A&M if they fired Jimbo Fisher. But Colorado? Absolutely not. Colorado was not on my radar. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. They were not on my radar as far as getting Deion Sanders. But somehow, some way, they did in fact land Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders is going to have some major work cut out for him going over there to Colorado. Why? Well, they're really bad. They're actually terrible. They average 15.4 points per game, which is 127th out of 131 teams. But it gets worse. They allowed 44.5 points per game, which is 131st. That's dead last. Dead last. It doesn't get worse than that. And on top of that, the point differential was negative 29.1. That also is 131st, which is dead last. Colorado was 1-11 in 2022. But it was far worse than that. They weren't just 1-11. They were a terrible 1-11 team. It's not like they were barely losing football games. Here's a look at their 2022 season. Fair warning, this is not for the squeamish. First game, TCU at home. They lose 38-13. Got blown out. At Air Force. They lose 41-10. Got blown out. At Minnesota, they lose 49-7. Got blown out. UCLA at home. They lost 45-17. Got blown out. At Arizona, lost 43-20. That's still a blowout by Arizona. You got blown out by Arizona. And then somehow they beat Cal in overtime, 20-13. At Oregon State, 42-9. They lose in a blowout. Arizona State, they lose that game, 42-34. Hey, at least that's a little bit close, right? Then number 8, Oregon, of course, you know they lose that game, 49-10, a blowout. At number 8, USC, a blowout, 55-17. At number 17, Washington, of course, yes, you guessed it, a blowout, 54-7. And then number 14, Utah at home. Yep, once again, a blowout, 63-21. These are terrible losses. They weren't even competitive. And if you were lucky enough to catch a Colorado football game, you could see, even on the TV screen, it looked like a high school team versus an NFL team. They didn't have size, speed, athleticism, nothing. Colorado had no business fielding a football team this year. That's how bad it was. The mercy rule should have been in full effect this year for Colorado. Now, the crazy thing is, Colorado, they get Deion Sanders. Didn't see that coming. I know I said it 1,000 times. I'm going to say it again. I didn't see it happening. Deion Sanders did miracles at Jackson State. He was 27-5 overall. That is a winning percentage of 84.4%. Now that makes me wonder, man, if we didn't at least take a look at Deion Sanders, what is West Virginia thinking? West Virginia is missing the boat. In fact, I made a list for coaches that West Virginia could look at, and now teams are grabbing those coaches up. So West Virginia, I gave you a great list because those coaches are being picked up. So you better hope that Neil Brown has an amazing season. Otherwise, I'm going to be very, very mad. And from what I've heard from Shane Lyons being fired, there's nothing to hold Neil Brown back this year. So the Shane Lyons excuse is going to be out the window for West Virginia. We'll see. I'm not getting my hopes up, though. Now, considering everything I just told you, Colorado being 1-11, one of the worst, maybe the worst team in all of college football. How they beat Cal, I don't know. Considering all that information, what I'm about to tell you is going to blow your mind. I'm telling you, it's going to blow your mind. So I am getting reports. Over 200 recruits and portal transfers have reached out to Colorado and Deion Sanders in the last 12 hours. And heads up, West Virginia, it might be some of our recruits. I'm telling you, recruits are reaching out to Colorado and Deion Sanders left and right. Every team for himself, keep your eyes on your recruits, because here's the thing. Deion Sanders was able to flip the #1 recruit in the nation last year from Florida State to Jackson State. If he can do that at an FCS school, imagine the damage he can do at Colorado, and he's already doing that damage. And reports coming out of Boulder, Colorado saying NIL money is rolling in. NIL money has taken a significant jump in Boulder, Colorado. The value of Colorado has gone through the roof in the past 24 hours. This is absolutely insane, guys. Insanity. Now, on top of all that, Colorado, aka Deion Sanders, have already landed a top 20 player for 2025. His name is Winston Watkins Jr., a wide receiver, and this guy is the best wide receiver coming out of that class. Colorado just landed him. That's the difference that Deion Sanders is already making at Colorado. This is insane, guys. Look, I knew that Deion Sanders was going to make a difference at Colorado. I mean, they were bad. They were bad. If he brought them up to average, that's a significant difference. But these reports that I'm getting, I didn't see this coming, guys. You better hope that you don't have to recruit head-to-head against Deion Sanders, because it looks like he's already getting dubs, and he hasn't even been on the job for a week yet. Not even a week. Barely 24 hours. So the stuff that he's already doing at Colorado is crazy. He's going to work miracles at Colorado. You better believe Colorado will be a much better team, and Colorado could be a contender in the Pac-12 in just a couple of years. Now, on top of that, this could be a sign, and I talked about this in another video earlier last week. This could be a sign of one of two things. The first thing is, it could be a sign that Colorado is still trying to get into the Big 12, because we heard in the middle of the regular season that the Big 12 wanted Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and Arizona State. And out of those four brands, as of right now, Colorado was by far the weakest brand. In fact, I said I would be willing to swap Washington State for Colorado. That's how bad they are. And traveling to Washington State would be absolutely brutal for the Big 12. But it would be worth it. They have a great fan base. But Deion Sanders has changed my mind. The Big 12 better go out and get Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and Arizona State, because the stock of Colorado is going through the roof as we speak. Right now. Not future tense like it will go through the roof. It's happening right now. Their stock is happening right now. So Colorado might be improving their stock, trying to get into the Big 12. Maybe the Big 12 was like, we want those other teams. Not sure about Colorado. We're going to have to think on this. And maybe Colorado's like, man, we got to do something, guys. We have to improve our stock now. We want in the Big 12. And maybe that's how they got Deion Sanders to come to Colorado. Hey, Deion, we want to get into the Big 12. We can't do it without you. Will you be the savior of Colorado? You know, stroking the ego of Deion Sanders, because let's be real. Deion Sanders has a massive, massive ego. I don't think he's a bad dude. No. He's not a bad dude at all. But he has a big-time ego. And Colorado was stroking that ego. Hey, man, we need you to be the savior of Colorado. We're trying to get into the Big 12, but we can't do it without you. So it could be a sign of that, or it could be a sign of the other thing where the Pac-12 is like, we need help with our TV deal. We have brands that are struggling. We're losing USC and UCLA. We don't want to die as a conference. And then their lowest brand goes out and gets Deion Sanders and might become one of their best brands. And now the Pac-12 is like, man, we might have some grounds to renegotiate that TV deal if Colorado generates some buzz like that and makes us some money. So it could be a sign, and I know I'm not really saying anything by saying this, but it could be a sign of either the Big 12 getting Colorado or the Pac-12 surviving because the brand of Colorado goes through the roof. Could be a sign of either of those things. So we'll see what happens in the future. But I guarantee you one thing. One of those things is happening because there's no other choice. Either the Pac-12 survives and Colorado may be one of the reasons, or the Pac-12 dies and Colorado might be one of the reasons for that one as well. Congratulations, Colorado. It looks like you got an even better coach than what you realized. We already knew he was a good coach, but man, he is turning things around immediately. Let's see how it transfers onto the field in 2023, because Deion Sanders will be on the sidelines for the Colorado Buffaloes in 2023. So y'all let me know in the comments section. Number one, did you see Deion Sanders going to Colorado? And number two, did you see Deion Sanders making this big of an impact this soon at Colorado once you heard that he was going to Colorado? That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.